Ladies and gentlemen, Gene Simmons.
Now, you know, the most successful onesie we've ever done said rock and roll all night over here, and on the back flap it said, and potty every day.
I'll be sure to pick up that one.
Yeah. Do you have kids of your own?
I'm on my way to my ultrasound right now.
Not mine.
Well, no. We could work on that. So my question actually, later. My question actually is about balance. Balance. You're a tremendously busy, powerful man.
Right.
Yet, by all accounts and what we see on television, you have a pretty stable family life.
Right.
How do you attain such power yet have
well, for
such
the
balance
man,
at home?
for men, never get married.
Okay.
I'm deadly serious. For women, get married as often as you can, as fast as you can, get divorced as many times as you can. It'll be the single largest financial windfall you will ever make in your entire life. Because every time you divorce an asshole, you will take 50% of his gross pre-tax dollars. What's good for the gander is not good for the goose.
And what if this goose wants to be a powerful businesswoman, a musician, a woman?
Yeah, but the laws of the land says when you divorce him, and statistics say you will, you'll be able to walk out with half of everything he's got, plus one of his 2 God-given balls, which gets ripped out, entrails and all.
Okay.
That's the law of the land. I didn't invent it. So that's why it's not good for men. The best thing God ever created for women.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. But we all know that.
Thank you. Just here, Gene?
Where?
Right here. Hi,
Okay.
Natalie Scott, Entertainment Tonight Canada. Just wondered if you could tell me about Belinda Stronach's involvement and how closely you'll be working.
Well, the deal happened with Randy Lennox. Randy Lennox is the head of Universal Music Canada. And he and I started talking about resurrecting the Simmons Records label here. Coincidentally, Belinda was involved in another deal at Universal, and it was Randy who thought that it might, this troika might work. And it has. And as you know, Belinda's a big supporter of Canada and industry and entrepreneurship, and it's a terrific combination. And even Tyson is over here, he got up earlier than I did this morning to do morning television.
Thanks, Gene. Just here with Karen?
Karen Bliss, I write for RollingStone.com and
Stand up.
Spinner.com and
Come
a
on,
few others.
they want to see you. Stand up.
If you sit down.
Oh, I'll sit down. Go ahead, stand up. I'll sit
I'll
down.
stand up.
Okay, I'll sit down. That's yours.
It is mine.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know some more details about the Kiss album. You mentioned that you were in the studio. Who's producing it? What are some song titles? When can we expect it?
Paul Stanley is producing. I don't have enough time to tie my shoelaces, and there's nobody else I trust more than Paul. And there's nothing to prove to anybody. We're not interested in musical trends or anything else. We're too long in the tooth for that. So it's going to be a sort of a classic 70s rock and roll over vibe. Meat and potatoes. Sometimes you just want to go out and have a meat and potatoes thing. Forget the French dressing. Songs all written. Titles like Rotten to the Core. The obvious things. No secret to life, no political messaging, nothing like that.
Thank you, Gene. Just here, Jane?
Hi, Jane. Jane Stevenson with the Toronto Sun.
Jane and I know each other.
How are you?
Wonderful.
When you were here last November, you were talking about signing down with Webster. What happened with that particular band?
We love Webster very much, and we're going to go see them tomorrow night and have dinner with them tomorrow night. And, I'm a kind of a weird duck. I don't do secrets very well. Sometimes it's more politically advantageous to play hard to get. If I'm crazy about you, I immediately wear my heart on my sleeve and tell you, I am nuts about this band. So many times you see new diamonds in the rough and you can see, well, they'll be good in 2 years. We'll just have to get rid of the drummer because he's not good and the lead tambourine player and get a new guy because this band is just got it. Whatever that charismatic thing is. And I'm nuts about them. Now, by the way, that undermines our negotiation. Let the lawyers figure that out.
So just to be clear, you have yet to sign any one of these 3 bands you're looking for?
I'm not at liberty at this point.
And what can you tell us about this TV show idea with Much?
Well, the idea is very simple. Brad Schwartz, who you guys may know, we were sitting around having dinner when we introduced the Simmons Records Universal Music venture, and I sat next to him and I said, look, you're in pop culture, we're in pop culture, why not do ethnocentric, in other words, Canadian talent? Let's follow these bands, the new bands that we're signing, and see how their lives develop, how they dump their girlfriends and run off with the other girl, and what that does to the, all the stuff that makes girls want to hang themselves when a guy enters a successful band, because that's what happened. But we are talking to him about that.
Gene, we're here. Thanks.
Hi, Gene Simmons. This is Max Brand of the Max Brand Report, which I do on the internet, on Yahoo. And my theory, I want to ask you about Canadian bands. Like, Canadian bands have been very successful over the years, and is it the time now for them to get them nationally known?
There's never a wrong time and there's never a right time. There just isn't. Movies have learned that over the years. The action movies in the summer, it's not true. Then they release the action and special effects movies in the winter. I'll be right there. First, I'll ask you for your autograph because you have that certain je ne sais quoi. I do not know how you say this in your language. There is no right time. There is no wrong time. It's always the right time when you've got the goddamn goods. When you've got the goods, summer, spring, or fall, it's the right time. And never, never get involved with an act before it's time. Never pick fruit when it's too early or too late. It'll either be too sour or rotten.
Well, thanks for just giving you my album.
Of course.
Thanks, Gene. We're here.
I promised. And we have to look at her anyway.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll come right to you next. Yeah.
I just work here.
Gene, I got a question. Following up with Simmons Records, obviously just you're going to be doing the Canadian thing, signing 3 bands. Can we see, I'm from the States, I'm from Buffalo, New York, Gus Gressinger from BackstageAccess.com. Are we going to do other countries besides Canada, or are you guys just primarily going to concentrate Canada and then maybe take it to like the US or
Move
Europe?
here first. Okay?
I'm here all the time.
Enough Canadian bands moving to America. Toronto, Vancouver, Class A cities that compete with any city in the world. And I'm sick and tired of, I meet really talented people who have, they always say, so how do you like Toronto? You don't have to ask that question. It's as cool or cooler than any other city, and there's no reason why it can't be right here. So, it's like, remember, London meant nothing at one point. Where does you two come from? Belfast? What the fuck's there? I mean that in the very nicest way for anybody that's from Belfast. So I'm just saying that you come from somewhere, and it's important to make that place happen. By the way, Liverpool could have continued. Look at all the bands that came out of there. My God, Jerry and the Pacemakers, just one right after the other. But they left. No. I wasn't born in America. I live there. And so we have to get over this idea that, you want to be a Canadian band? Move here.
Thanks.
I became an American band. I moved there.
Good answer.
Hello, Senor Simmons. I'm Ampara Isis, representing for Gangsters Chronicles, Music Plus, in Montreal, another fabulous city in this country that not that many people have mentioned here today. Anyways, my question is, what excites you right now in business here in Canada? What is new? What's futuristic?
Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. As an example, your banking system wasn't hit as hard as the rest of the world. And that's because in some ways people are more ethical, smarter, blah, blah, blah. There is as much musical talent here as in the States. Don't kid yourself. And unless you're careful and unless you provide them, I said this before, with the industry and the love and the pop culture of it, they will move across the border. It's not far. And I said it before, Americans can seduce the devil. They will tell you, it's like any guy talking to a girl. He will convince you at the end of that conversation you're the only one and there's nobody else.
No, it's no joke, Mr. Simmons. By the way, I'm from Wimbledon, not Liverpool. But the real question is, some guy at the keynote speech you were doing was talking about maximizing profit. I've got a hit internet reality show, another shameless plug. I was just wondering, when you came here to launch your Simmons music group, it was last year, I believe, you announced that you were looking for the biggest fan, a music fan in general, when you were on radio. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, I'm a huge fan of music myself, among other things, Mr. Simmons. And I do find you quite an intimidating figure, but on the other hand, quite a very entertaining figure, and larger than...
And good looking.
And very good looking indeed. Mr. Simmons is very shrewd, but very good looking first and foremost. Now, when you want to, do what you're doing here, such as, I know I'm on the time.
Your question, please.
My question is, for someone like me who's trying to build a repertoire in the internet reality sort of TV sort of realm, I wanted to know, what do you look for? I mean, have you seen my site? Do you find it entertaining? Do you see that there's potential for growth and something a lot bigger there than there already is? Because we get viewers from all around the world.
What was your question?
The question is, what is it you look for, just like you do in the music world? The internet itself, I'm sorry, I'm very tongue-tied. The internet itself, is that something that has a bigger potential than TV, than movies? Because everything's going the way of the net, just as music is going into the net. Do you think something like a reality series built around the world of music celebrities or celebrities in general would work in this day and age?
Gene,
not just
what do
here
you
in
think?
Toronto, but all around the world sort of thing.
Well, I don't agree with your assessment. I think American and Canadian Idol are 100 times bigger than any internet model. You'll have 30 million active viewers voting on something, but you really don't know it until you know it, which is to say, you know it when you hear it or see it. That's the magic of charisma. If we all knew exactly before it happened what it was we wanted, we would create it and we would have hit album and hit music after hit music. We don't. The first time Prince got up on stage and did what he did, you just knew it. I wouldn't invent it. I couldn't invent that. The first time the Beatles or Elvis, that comes out of left field, and you can't create that thing. Did that answer your question?
Great answer.
Very well.
Thanks, Gene.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice
very
hat.
much. Here we are.
Hi, Gene. Great to meet you. Dianise. I'm the host. Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Of the Friday morning show on thatchannel.com, Fridays 11 to noon. I love what you said.
Yes.
Very nice. I love what you said today to everyone. It's such an important time. I mean, we've got MySpace, we've got Facebook. I think I have
Means
an
nothing.
idea I'd like to talk to you about.
Okay.
Well, think about it. Everyone right now is online. Everybody. Now, I know it's free, but there are a lot of them. There's the youth. They seem to all go there because it's a place that everyone can be together all at once.
Because it's free.
And it's free, but I have an idea. Why not make it more competitive? Start up a new place, and maybe even call it that, and have qualified artists.
And you'll fund it.
I'll fund it, yes.
Okay. We'll do anything
We'll have to fund it together. There's not one person in this room that could help each other. We can all help each other in some way.
Well, any idea is a good idea if you can implement it. What that sort of means is the first person who walks up to you and says, what's your name again?
Dianise.
Dianise. Afraid to ask how to spell it. So if somebody says, Dianise, I've got a great idea. Man goes to the moon. That's a great idea. Now, before we implement that idea, just have a few questions. Okay. How do you get there? How much does it cost? How many miles per gallon? Oh, I don't know any of those things. That's just the idea. No. I mean, in a hypothetical world.
They're already there. The people are there. They want it. Everyone is hungry. They want to be discovered. Make it more competitive. I mean, it's so easy for someone to make a song from their room, their basement, throw it up on a MySpace.
That's not my question.
How do we fund it?
Ultimately and invariably, and other big words like gymnasium, the only thing anybody wants to know is, how do I make money?
Right. Well, you've got to sell the merchandise like what you're doing. I guess partnership with as many entities as possible. Get a radio show. Go sell your T-shirts.
Get a skyscraper. Get a country. Become a ruler of a country.
Great. Thanks, guys. Gene,
we'll
we're
talk.
here. Gene, behind you.
You're welcome.
To your left.
To my left.
Gene, hi.
Yes.
Shannon Ambrose from theportalmagazine.com.
Nice to see you.
I'm here from Calgary. I keep hearing talk about Simmons Records in Toronto and looking for the bands.
Yeah.
What about out west? Are you
Okay.
looking out west?
We're looking look, the modern virtual world enables anybody, even from Sudbury, to send an electronic file and send it to us. If you go to simmonsrecords.com, it tells you everything. So if there's a band there, you bet I'll come out there. But the idea that, hey, come out there and hear our band play in the basement of a... No. First send the electronic file, and if you've got something, we'll engage in a conversation. We've been talking with 100 bands. Everybody's got a little bit of promise, but that's not enough.
Great. Thanks, Gene. We're going to take 3 more questions.
Nice to meet you, Gene.
Nice to see you too.
I'm Wolfgang from Easy Sleazy. I play in a Toronto rock band. And we are currently playing tomorrow night. We're headlining.
That's got to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take care of it. No problem.
What kind of band?
We're a hard rock band, cross between Guns N' Roses, Velvet Revolver.
I know, but if you look at those guys,
I know.
There's no. They don't do that. So you position yourself in the right, whatever it is. So Guns N' Roses, they're not going to walk out there with beards.
It's true.
It feels more Doobie Brothers or more sort of meat and potatoes kind of middle. So if you're going to do edgy, look at us. We've got tight jeans and cucumbers down our pants. The facial hair goes.
Beautiful. I'm actually, we're currently doing an independent reality television show, similar to what you're doing. And I just wanted to know if there's any pointers of what you could tell us to get global distribution.
Wow. It's going to be hard. Because without a name, look, people tune into television either because they think it's very high concept, and to just be another band on TV is not high concept enough, or unless they recognize your name and are interested in the celebrity of it. So you got 2 strikes against you. But if you can get a television broadcaster to broadcast your show, you're way ahead of the pack. Very impossible, very close to impossible.
Uncle D, the Canadian ass man, is actually the celebrity status in the show. He's a very famous photographer. He's
Let's test. Have you heard, what's his name?
Uncle D, the Canadian ass man.
Have you heard of Uncle D, the Canadian ass man?
Yeah, I heard him, yeah.
Oh, okay. You got 2 viewers. I haven't heard of him.
He's actually from Nova Scotia.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next question's
TV
here,
show,
Gene.
Web Dreams.
Well, so if you've got this guy who's known in Nova Scotia and you can get on the air, do it. Take every opportunity because the old days are gone. Radio, videos, yesterday.
Hi, Gene. Michael from CBC. We met a lot of bands today, like Sundown, who are here to see you and hopefully get on your label. Just wondering what sort of hope they have to actually get signed.
Slim. Like in real life. You know, life is a contest. I don't care if you're auditioning for anything. If you go for a television interview, like this guy, or a beauty contest, or weightlifting champ, you know, life is tough, and it should be the best of the best. Because I don't know how to tell everybody this. We're not looking for somebody that's as good as Chilliwack or a foot in cold water. We're looking for something that's going to compete worldwide before your time. Once upon a time, there were bands like the Stampeders. So you want to be able to compete against U2 and the Stones and the biggest bands in the world. That's what we're looking for. And it doesn't have to be rock and roll. Jonas Brothers, you bet your ass. If I find another group of cute young kids that can write their own songs, or another Chris Brown without the physical cruelty, you bet we'd do that in a heartbeat. But this guy should definitely wind up in jail, this kid, Chris Brown. You lift your hand at a woman and you should become somebody's girlfriend fast.
So should Sundown give up? Or is there any hope for them, or should they just give up?
No, why? I didn't say that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
But if you want me to paint a rosy picture, it's hard out there.
Okay.
Thank you, Gene.
Have a good
Next
day.
question's here.
Okay.
Hi, it's Josh Ostroff from AOL Canada. During your keynote, you were talking a lot about all the great things that record labels have done for you. Why do you think that they've kind of developed reputations as bad guys over the years? And
They haven't. It's that the musicians aren't qualified to even play their own instruments. Nobody learned how to read or write music. You don't have a fucking clue what music theory is. And there, but for the grace of God, I make the joke, you'd be asking or flipping burgers. The fact that somebody who winds up going from a guitar to Wembley Stadium doesn't mean you're qualified to make an assessment about anything. So these assholes who wound up becoming superstars thought that the people that were giving them millions of dollars, non-return. If it fails, you never have to give it back. They thought they were their own they thought that was the enemy. Tell me what's wrong with this picture.
does an artist-run label operate any differently, like yours?
Well, in the real world, somebody's got to pay for the cost of living. And so the advantage of teaming up with the Universal Records Universal Music in Canada, obviously, is you've got a team and an infrastructure that already pre-exists. Instead of hiring people and going through a learning curve and enormous amounts of money. And I really don't want to spend my time in training somebody in Sudbury on how to get the records out there and try to sell, 10 more CDs or how to download it. So I've always thought as record companies as the best friend you ever had, because even your mom, when she lent you $100, she wanted you to give it back. Record companies never did.
I agree with Gene. Here?
I agree. He's from Universal Music.
Hi, Gene. Over here.
I love girls.
Oh, that's good.
God help me.
I'm Jen Good. I work on the Hour Online, a show you've been on. And I just wondered, we talked a lot about business today, and I know you're the quintessential businessman.
I hope you talk about business every day. Don't talk about anything but.
Well, I want to talk about something else, so I'm going on a limb. But you are the quintessential businessman and very good looking and all that crap. But the best thing you've ever said is when you were on a reality show, you said that teaching was better than being a rock star. And I've always remembered that. And I just wondered if you had any projects in the works that speak a little more to this than to the pocketbook.
Yeah, but you must talk to the pocketbook to talk about this. We just had breakfast downstairs with somebody who came in from New York. Her name is Tammy Fisher. I don't know if she's here. She's from... Where's Tammy? She's not here. She's from the Fisher family, and the Fisher family are very well off. They own the aircraft carrier, the Intrepid, and they do Fisher House. And the Fisher House is a halfway home after you serve in the military. Some of our troops come back, as you know, amputated, without job skills and so on. And unfortunately, we just dump them out there. After they've served your country, risked life and limb, how do they enter society? And what Fisher House does is give them a home, someplace to hang with, get job referrals, and so on and so forth. So I invited Tammy up here because I want her and Belinda Stronach, who's a friend and a business partner, to meet and do great things. And at breakfast, I pitched somebody else, I don't know if she's here, with opening up a Fisher House here. But I don't get up on stage and tug on people's shirt sleeves to try to convince them that I try to do good for people, because you'd be yawning by the time I got through the first sentence. Yeah. So business is best. Make as much money as you can every day, and then as a private citizen, give back.
Thank you, Gene. We're going to take one final question.
What would be the most important piece of advice you have for independent artists today?
Oh my God, it's so tough. Because every time I say, don't sing in 3-part harmony, you'll find, Il Divo or the Canadian tenors will come with 4-part harmony. And every time I say, don't sing opera, there'll be an exception to the rule. So there just aren't any rules. The stars of tomorrow are going to be unique, or they're going to be the same old thing, but they're going to be what we want. It doesn't have to be completely unique. It can be just like something else. So I'm trying to think of examples, because the next singer that's going to come out and sing and great is going to be no better or worse than Colby Calais. I forgot her name. The next great pop girl singer is going to have that thing, and she'll sell some records. But I'm looking for stars, people who are bigger than the songs they sing. And that's the only way to have careers that last decades. And let me tell you a hard piece of fact. If you think American and Canadian Idol is what the world is really about, it's not, and I'll prove it to you. In a hypothetical world, Jimi Hendrix, John Lennon, Mick Jagger and Gene Simmons, I'm not in that league, step up and we all sing our songs. Which one of us is going to be more you light up my life? We would all fail. And so Madonna would try, feelings, nothing but, we would fail because none of us can sing well. We can't. But these artists are some of the biggest artists on planet Earth. And those people are going to have hit songs, and Kelly Clarkson is great. I want bigger. I don't want somebody who sings well. I want somebody who just is charismatic beyond charisma. Because the thing that makes us talk about Amy Winehouse is not how well she sings, it's how fucked up she is. Pardon me. You want water cooler conversation. You want stars that are bigger than their photos.
Great.
Stars.
Thank you, Gene, and thanks, everybody.